AITA for completely refusing to let my ex-girlfriend give our baby up for adoption. My ex-girlfriend and I had been dating for 4 years, but 6 months ago we broke up. Not on bad terms, but long story short, we just both realized that we weren't heading in the same direction. Shortly after that, she found out she was pregnant. We talked about how we would handle things, and both agreed to just be friends and parents to our baby. Despite the unexpectedness, we both were, and I still am, very excited. We explicitly agreed platonic parent relationship only. We started getting quite close and hanging out a lot again, which I thought nothing of. After all, we ended on good terms and we were going to be friends and coparents, so it made sense. One night at my house she tried to kiss, and I stopped it in its tracks as I was not comfortable. I told her I wasn't interested in a relationship at all and just wanted to focus on myself and our baby. She got quite angry and started shouting at me, asking why I would have a baby with her if I didn't want to be with her. How could I do this to her, etc. I just told her I was clear about this from the very beginning, and I asked her to leave and we could talk tomorrow. The next day she told me she didn't want to have a baby out of a relationship and that she was getting an abortion. Unfortunately, she found out she was too far along and informed me we would be giving up the baby for adoption. I flat out told her no way, I would not let her do that at all, which is where I might be the idiot. She came to my house very angry and again asked how I could do this to her. This is where I might be the idiot, again, because I told her that she is the one who chose to have this baby, and I was clear about my stance from the beginning. If she misinterpreted my stance or was deluded enough to convince herself otherwise, then that was on her, not me. She screamed that she was breaking up with me, even though we were already broken up. She talked to my parents and sister and now they are mad at me as they really like my ex. And how can I do this to her? And her parents came to my house crying and begging me to give it up for adoption. Over the past few weeks I have probably been asked 10,000 times how can I do this to her. I told her dad, who had since come to my doorstep 5 more times, that I'm not doing anything to her, and if he asks me that one more time I'm going to write it on a piece of paper and shove it up him before getting a restraining order. Part 3 of where I might have been the idiot. That was mainly a result of my frustration from being harassed, but I'm not trying to excuse it as I know he was just trying to help his daughter. At first I thought I was overwhelmingly in the right and that they were the wrong ones, but now everyone has me questioning everything. I know it sucks for her, but I genuinely, if she didn't want a baby out of a relationship, she should have had an abortion when that was available. Edit. I will take full custody, but she is not happy with that as it will still technically be her child. Edit 2. She can't give up parental rights. Reddit comments. You need an attorney, not Reddit. It's quite simple actually. She is not in the wrong for wanting to put the child up for adoption, but she, and her family and whoever else, is absolutely 100% in the wrong for trying to coerce you to agree to it. They understand full well that your agreement is legally required, hence their pressure campaign. I commend you for standing on your principles. Edit. And it should be noted she has the option of signing away her parental rights to you. In that case she would not be a parent to your child, at least not in a legal sense. Also, going forward, I strongly advise you to never lie to your child about any of this, even if you think that's what's in their best interest at some stage in their development. And it should be noted she has the option of signing away her parental rights to you. If they're in the US, she almost certainly has no such option. US courts typically will not terminate parental rights other than for unfitness issues, unless there is someone, i.e. a step-parent, willing to adopt the child in the place of the parent whose rights would be terminated. She will still have rights and responsibilities to the child, whether she wants them or not. AITA. Alright, guys. I may have been mistaken about how common it is to be able to give up your parental rights. The point has been made. Thank you. That's not accurate. My sister's baby daddy signed away all of his parental rights simply because he didn't want to be a dad. Everyone went to court, signed all the docs, and that's that. Edit. Wow, I didn't realize all the comments this would get. We live in Ohio. Both my sister and the baby daddy had to agree to it. They were never married. She also cannot seek any sort of financial gain from him. She has sole custody, makes all of his decisions, and doesn't need to consult with him. He's not involved at all, etc. Hope that clears some of it up. You're NTA, and if she doesn't want the baby, she can just pay you child support like the millions of men in her situation have to do. Are you prepared to take sole custody of the child? If so, then I lean towards no. But if you plan to try and make her share custody of a child she doesn't want, then yes. But seriously, I don't know the laws where you are, but inside out she can give it up for adoption without your consent. Just try to make the rest of the time as peaceful as you can. Then take custody and be the best dad you can be to that kiddo. Prepare for later in life if the child asks about its mom. Also prepare for her to possibly change her mind once the child is born. Not knowing her, I can't speak for her. In your post it comes off as her hoping the baby would get you guys back together, and since you said no, well now she is hurting. That doesn't excuse anything. But try to keep it all peaceful for the baby's sake. But again, seriously, get a lawyer if you can to just help with the transition. He would still be entitled to child support from her. If guys can't run from it when they don't want the kid, then women can't either. She has no right to ask him to give up her rights. The woman's body, woman's choice is only valid when pregnant. Once born, he has equal rights to her as a parent. They both have to sign off on adoption. NTA at all? Well, if she gives up parental rights, then no child support. And I'd say the same if roles were reversed and he gave up full rights. Edit to add, if a parent doesn't want to sign over rights, then by all means, child support regardless if it's mom or dad. Second edit, obviously I'm very incorrect on what I thought was true. Happy to have learned the truth and truly hope things work out for Opus. Why don't you raise the baby by yourself? She can sign away parental rights. I likely will have full or most custody given how our discussions are going so far. She also doesn't want a child out of a relationship. Even if I had full custody, she still has a child out of a relationship. Yes. But if your child gets adopted, she also has a child out of a relationship. If you raise your child alone, it's effectively the same for her as adoption. Yeah, like what kind of logic is that? If someone else but adopts, I don't have a child anymore. Or maybe she means that if doesn't allow adoption, she has to pay child support, even if she gives up the rights. In that case, I understand wanting to give up baby, but lol, did she play stupid games and won a stupid prize? It's not really the same, though. She's obviously in love with and so in addition to the fact that she may be thinking about whether or not the baby has a mother figure, she may also not want to deal with the possibility of him finding someone else and that woman raising her baby. Also, she and obviously live in the same area, etc. She did screw up in keeping the baby, thinking that she and would be together again, but I feel empathy for her. It's clear she'd rather this not be happening at all, considering she initially wanted an abortion. Edit, to be clear, what I mean here is that obviously, if she's not with she doesn't want to carry the pregnancy to term. It's an out of sight, out of mind thing. If the baby is adopted in a closed adoptions by strangers, it's much easier to pretend it doesn't exist. If the child is raised by even if she isn't in the baby's life, she can't pretend it's there. Especially if she might be required to pay child support, which wouldn't be an issue in the case of adoption. If she gives up the baby for adoption, she doesn't have to see the baby ever again, and she doesn't have to pay child support. If gets full custody, she might see the baby again. Her parents could change their stance to "we're the grandparents, we want to see the grandchild, talk to your ex again," and she will definitely have to pay child support. Where I live, she can't give the baby up for adoption without the father's consent. However, they are not married. If name is not on the birth certificate, she'd be able to take the decision alone. She'd only need to give birth at and disclose location, so can't be around to sign the birth certificate. It's very bad faith, but it is doable. Needs a lawyer if he wants to keep full custody. His ex doesn't want to keep the baby. Her family doesn't want her to. They can easily find a way to not give up what he wants. Move her to another state. Claim she had a miscarriage, but in fact, she gives birth and has a closed adoption, etc.